Hello, welcome to TJD Movie Reviews.
I'm Ty.
Jake.
I'm Drew.
Episode 12, we watched Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Drew, why don't you kind of describe what this film was about, or kind of what it's like?
This isn't your atypical film. It's a mockumentary of sorts. It kind of chronologues the tale of Leslie Vernon, a boy who was beaten as a child, was a bastard, and at some point the townspeople were so freaked out by him because of all he murdered a bunch of people, and so the townspeople rioted and grabbed him, bound his feet and legs, and they tossed him over a waterfall. And of course this isn't true. It's all just kind of an homage to the legends of horror.
There's always a fucked up origin story.
Yeah. It's basically just an homage to like your Jason or your Freddy Krueger or Mike Myers. In fact, they make a lot of references to those horror legends in this movie. But there's a college film crew that kind of wants to get the scoop on Leslie Vernon coming back from the dead or what have you to take his revenge on the town that slighted him. But it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, as you can see.
It's almost like Cabin in the Woods mixed with like The Office or something, in terms of like the interviews, and they're like following.
I was gonna say like this is Spinal Tap mixed with
that's a better analogy.
This is Spinal Tap mixed with Halloween.
Yeah.
Because I think of all the horror movies, that's the one it plays off of the most.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does. It really hits on a lot of points. Mm-hmm. And you can see there's a lot of stuff reminiscent of old horror movies. They interview him and they kind of go to his different spots. People he tries to target for killings later on in the film, and basically how he terrorizes those people.
How he goes about his day-to-day. Setting up his next event for himself. Which, has he done one to this point? I think he has, hasn't he? Or is this like his first one that he's planning on doing?
If he did, I think it was small stuff here and there. They didn't really make a whole lot of references to his past. All we know about him is he was from Reno, Nevada.
Yeah, he wasn't actually the real person.
Yeah, that waterfall story was all...
It's all fabricated.
Actually, I think the waterfall story was real. That person actually did die, and he just kind of took up that mantle.
He kind of assumed that role.
I guess, as you can say, and spoiler alert, Jason's mother did in the first Friday the 13th.
Really? You're going to spoil? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, that movie's, 30, 40 years old?
Yeah.
If you don't know...
by now.
If you don't know, in the first Friday the 13th, it isn't actually Jason until, the very last shot. But...
Which honestly would have scared the shit out of me in the theater. Because who the fuck thought that the dead kid that she freaked out about was actually going to jump out of the lake at the end of the movie and scare the fuck out of everybody?
Dude, nobody saw that coming.
Nah.
No.
They built a whole shitty franchise off just that moment.
And one spin-off.
Which one's that?
Freddy versus Jason.
Oh yeah, that was... We don't talk about that.
I never actually saw that.
If you want to see Kelly Rowland call Freddy Krueger a faggot, then that's the movie you watch. I couldn't believe that word came out of her mouth. You're like, what year is it? Poor taste.
Weren't you in Destiny's Child?
Yeah. She thought she could be an actress.
Well, so did Beyonce.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those musicians that think they can act. Especially in horror movies, too. Halloween H2O.
Busta Rhymes.
Yep.
LL Cool J.
LL Cool J's been
Resurrection.
quite a bit of shit, actually.
He wasn't he? I
was.
forgot about that.
Check your privilege? No, I'm just kidding.
The bigger question is, has Shaggy ever done a horror movie?
He really needs to do one. Especially now that it's all washed up like he is, it would make perfect sense. Because everyone in the audience would be like, who the fuck is this guy?
He'd come in for one line and be
Get
like,
murdered.
it wasn't me.
Like the whole movie, they keep pointing at him that he's the lead suspect or whatever, and then he goes, "It wasn't me," and then gets stabbed right through the chest.
Then he goes, "You want fries with that?" Because he works at McDonald's.
You said Jiffy Lube last time.
Yeah, that's true.
He has a litany of jobs.
Yeah. He likes to keep it fresh.
He has to work several to make ends meet.
Mm.
He has very expensive tastes.
All those boats and hoes and...
Yep. And various other things. Mainly boats and hoes. Well, this is off to a rocky start.
What do we like about the movie?
I found all the things. The mockumentary part of it is funny because if you're a fan of horror movies, like you look at all these tropes. Like even Jamie Kennedy points them out in the first Scream. He's like, be a virgin. Don't be sexually active. They make fun of that. People trying to get out of a second story window and how well that actually works out for you.
That was one of my favorite parts of the movie. She goes, why don't they just break the window out? And he goes, you'd be surprised.
Yeah. Well, no, that was when they were like in the garage, and it's like, why don't they just break out? Because then they're on like a first floor. And
Yeah,
like,
she goes, couldn't they just break the window? And he's like, you would be surprised.
Yeah. It's funny. They just point out all these different tropes that you just are like, yeah, you always yell at, why are you doing that? You're yelling at the screen, and it's like, oh, you guys are morons. And they point out that this is what he lays out exactly what everyone's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and another thing is I love how they basically humanize the supernatural things about a Jason or a Freddy.
Yeah.
Dude wears a bulletproof vest, so if he gets shot, it doesn't really affect him all that much. He wears flame retardant cream, so if he gets burned, he's not hurt that badly. He does a lot of cardio, so he can run around to different places.
Yeah, that was a great line. He's like, do you know how much cardio I have to do? I mean, when they're running and you have to just be walking, but then trying to keep up with them, takes a lot. Gosh, that was hilarious. But
I just love the fact that it makes complete sense when he puts it, into perspective like that.
I liked the main characters acting. Some of the support people weren't the greatest. Like her camera guy was like hit and miss.
which one? The
Todd.
Jamie Kennedy one or
the bigger one?
the-
Todd.
I think his name
the
was
fat Sean Astin?
Yeah. So Sean Astin.
Sean Astin's in a lot better shape than that guy.
The joke's so nice I made it twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the main girl who was in Home Alone.
Yeah, she's Lenny from Home Alone.
Which is the one that said, Kevin, if you're what the French call incompetent.
I don't know if that's her or if she's the one that says, Kevin, you're such a disease. I don't remember. But, yeah.
Wow.
She hasn't been in a whole lot.
It's been years since I've seen Home Alone. I don't remember that.
We quote Home Alone every day. It's probably, in terms of things Drew and I talk about, Home Alone is probably the number one thing.
She's also been in...
That's kind of sad.
I'm not sure why either.
I don't know. We just have fun quotes.
We'll come into work and be like, a large cheese pizza just for me. When I grow up, I'm living alone.
I made my family disappear.
I don't know. It's just a movie I've seen 1 billion times that I could just lean over and be like, how many fingers have I holding up? And we'll just do the Home Alone shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, we didn't watch Home Alone.
No.
Other shit I liked the humor. He had like a sadistic sense of humor, which I appreciate because the context. I mean, it's a serial killer, and he's going through bit by bit. Like, after I do this, they're gonna try to do this. I'm gonna have this set up, and that's what's gonna happen.
Even like doing the. Not even like the whole murder scene like you have in every the final conclusion horror movie murder stuff you have at the end, but like all the setup stuff where like you have the guy standing out in the grass and everybody, like only one person sees him. He's like, it's all about timing. It's all about being in the right place at the right time. And he's like, I have to have it set up like this. Yeah, it's hilarious because he's like laughing about it. He's like, yes, I nailed that. Like, it's like his Super Bowl to him.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's his, what he calls his life's work.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Christmas for him.
Well,
Yes.
he enlists the help of another former killer. I don't remember what if they go into the backstory, what he did.
His name was Edgar. I don't think he was supposed to be like anyone, like, a Jason or...
He was just an older guy, but what I appreciated about that is he was like, when I did it back in the 60s and 70s, it was spur of the moment, and you just did whatever, and he kind of said the newer guys kind of have to follow the groundwork that the legends like, Mike Myers and Freddy laid out. He's calling him by first name and stuff, and you're like,
Jason.
This is weird, but...
it's like they're just a
club. Broys?
Yeah. Bros Club. Yeah. So they're just a bunch of guys who have a similar hobby that they like to do.
Murder people?
Yeah.
I've been asking. They just run and scream.
You put it on Craigslist, looking for other people who enjoy murdering.
I mean, if I was looking to get murdered and find people that murder, I would definitely go to Craigslist.
Looking for roommate. Don't have to pay rent. Just have to wear walrus costume while you're here.
You'll be a walrus, or you'll be nothing at all. But I like that aspect, and I liked Robert Englund. He was basically Dr. Loomis. Like, it was I don't know. It was a nice like.
Who's Dr. Loomis for those people who don't know who Dr. Loomis is?
Dr. Loomis was Donald Pleasance in Halloween, and he was the psychiatrist that he had talked with Michael Myers when he was a little kid, and he said the kid's fucking evil. Like, I've never seen anything like it, and you need to be scared. And he's great in the original Halloween because he does a lot of the exposition,
like the setup for explaining why he is like he is.
Right. Because until then, you're like, well, some kid stabbed somebody and
his sister,
and now something else is maybe going on because there's a guy walking around and he hadn't done anything at that point. And then Loomis kind of is the reason that people start freaking out. Is he's like, you need, because I know this guy and it isn't good. What's gonna happen?
Which is just like the dude in this movie. He said he was his God, I can't even think of his name. Leslie. He was Leslie's psychiatrist from when he lived.
And I also liked it. Whoever made this movie knows horror movies, which I appreciate, because it wasn't one of those. Every now and then you'll see a movie like this that kind of tries to make fun of something, but they'll focus too much on either one movie, or they won't have a good idea of what they're really doing with it. But whoever made this, I feel like they've seen a whole plethora of different horror shit.
It's directed by a man named Scott Glosserman. I'm not particularly sure anything else of note that he's done. I can look that up.
But yeah, I think you mentioned this earlier. Liken it to like Cabin in the Woods, where they do the same exact thing. They set up all these horror cliches, and then they just start checklist. Check that one off. All right, got all these, and then the whole thing is like the virgin either lives or dies. It can go either way. But
Cabin in the Woods, I feel, took it up an extra notch though with the gods and all that shit happening at the end.
I've never seen something like that crazy.
Well, what I took from that was it was. That movie kind of painted horror movies as a necessary
evil
outlet to keep the ugliness of humanity from going fucking apeshit, which was what like when Sigourney Weaver's basically like, if you live, then everything's fucked because the gods haven't been pleased and the world's going to be destroyed. But I could totally be reading too far into it. Maybe I was drunk.
Well, no, she didn't need to die. The virgin doesn't need to die. They said that's an optional.
Yep.
It was the stoner didn't die. And
right. because it didn't fit the convention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. Good movie.
It was a very great movie.
It's one of the few movies you see where like the bad people actually win, or the protagonist doesn't win.
Mm-hmm. And other than, Sigourney Weaver and Chris Hemsworth, it's also a movie that kind of has a bunch of people that aren't really notable.
No.
So that's almost a, I don't know, whatever genre of movie you would call this, horror parody, that almost is like a regular thing.
Now, when we say like a horror parody, we don't mean like Scary Movie where...
This is not at all like this.
That is a completely different thing on its own, that's like intentionally making fun of horror movies.
Yeah, that's like a slapstick, stupid.
This is pointing out the cliches, but having fun with them, but also then using them to their advantage.
I think they did it respectfully, too. Mm-hmm. Like, they didn't, they would poke fun at it. They were never like, isn't it stupid how blah, 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 and...
That's what I'm saying. They humanize it. And, you're like, oh, okay.
They even make, they try until that the final 20 minutes. They even make Leslie seem very relatable.
Like a likable guy.
Yeah, he except for when you kind of take out the crazy shit that he's doing, he is actually a really enjoyable, really nice guy. It's all right, I'm confused here. What's going on?
He almost does it like it's his job in this movie. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm going to work. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to scare the shit out of this girl in the library. And then the girl that's doing, the reporting hits a point where she's like, well, we can't let him do this, and I would have just killed everyone. I totally would have. I bring you with me to show you all this shit that I'm doing, and you repay me by fucking it up, I would kill you.
But he does seem to take it into effect that it could happen.
Well, it turned out he planned it all along, and that she was the one, that was pretty genius. Even though we guessed it before it happened, the fact that it happened, I still enjoyed.
Well, you even guessed that they may have even been their own type of serial killer, too.
Who?
The girl, the other one.
I thought that by the end, he might have converted her to start doing her own shit.
Which wasn't a bad guess at all. I mean, that was totally within the wheelhouse of the situation.
I mean, it's happened in other movies before. One of the Friday the 13th, they kill Jason, and then the next movie, it's...
Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman is Jason.
Yeah, we don't talk about those movies.
Happened in Saw.
Yeah, happened in Saw as well.
Did it?
Yeah.
Amanda.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, I don't think I saw that, but that was the second one, right?
Mm-hmm. Second and third.
And third, yeah.
Yeah.
Then I quit watching. I'll have to watch them all someday.
He also had others who were part of his little end.
Eventually.
But that goes way into the series.
Yep.
The most unbelievable part of the Saw movies is that anybody could plan that fucking far ahead. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He planned 5 movies out, and then died. Well, spoilers. Unless he didn't die. I never saw all of them, so...
Technically, he really planned out pretty much all 7.
Yeah, that's totally not realistic.
No, that's, way out of your way.
Psychotic shit.
Mm-hmm. He had to be a fortune teller.
I mean, it's not even being psychotic. It's, you can't predict that many people do exactly what you want for that long. And Chester Bennington's in multiple movies for some reason. So you predicted that he had a clone that came back?
Chester Bennington?
From Linkin Park?
Oh.
Isn't he in a couple movies?
I thought he was only in one of them.
I thought he was in multiple.
I thought he was just
and
in
he
one.
died in both of them.
In what movie?
Saw.
The Saw movies.
He was in Saw.
What? Yeah.
He was in Saw 3, I think, and...
Then he burned in a car somewhere.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that was one of the last Saws, yeah. He
Chester Bennington.
People are gonna hate me that I love that franchise.
And you don't even know he was in it?
No, I had no idea.
You know he's in Crank?
No.
Yeah, remember the dude that was like, do the nasal spray, man. That's Chester
Bennington.
Bennington.
Yeah! Wow, that's insane.
And then, don't they in the first Crank mention Linkin Park. I think there's a discussion about Linkin Park in the first Crank.
Maybe. I don't know. That movie's insane.
As I say, I think one of them appears in Crank. Yeah, that's what you just said, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought you said Crank 2. I misheard you.
I think he's in Crank 2 as well.
Do you think musicians just need to stick to like a little like cameo role like that?
Like Flea in Back to the Future and Back to the Future 2.
What?
You didn't remember Flea's in Back to the
No, man.
Drew's mind is
you're blowing my mind right now.
He's the one who races, like, in the second one, he's the one who tries getting old Marty, to agree to that, like, company scam on the TV. That's Flea. He's the one who keeps calling him Chicken. And then in the end of the third one, he's the one who wants to drag race him. In Marty's new truck.
Huh.
Yeah.
He was like, what the fuck, man?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, no. I was just going to say, it's like Kid Rock and Joe Dirt, but he actually had, like, a whole role.
Oh, yeah, Kid Rock.
As I say, Alice Cooper in Wayne's World.
Yeah. It's like little, like...
We're not worthy!
Yeah, little roles like that.
Alright, what I want to do quick, before we go to maybe stuff we didn't like about this film, we didn't dislike, yeah, that's stupid. What are some horror tropes, or horror cliches? Just, let's try and, like, go through a list, like Jamie Kennedy does.
Fucking. Somebody's fucking.
Okay.
And if there's no fucking in your horror movie, you're not doing it right.
And if they are fucking, they're dying.
Yep.
Is there a movie that goes against that?
Scream.
Really?
She fucks that dude at the end of the movie, and she lives. Yeah. Neve?
Nev Campbell. Looks like Neve.
Her Indian brother, Neve.
Yeah.
Neve Campbell.
Nev Campbell. Whatever.
He works at Geek Squad at Best Buy.
Fuck you both.
Was that racist?
A little bit. Okay. I'm more laughing at the Neve.
And the other dude's name is, Skeet Ulrich? Let's have a movie with people with retarded names. I like how I'm making fun of something that these people have no control over whatsoever. I was born with it.
Hey, it could be a stage name. They could have picked it.
I was born with the shitty name.
Yeah.
I was molded by it.
Oh, God. I'm not... You did an impression!
I didn't really do an impression. I just
You
said
did
the
a
line.
fucking impression.
I don't think it was much of an impression. It's
Now
just
do
stating.
Shy Guys in Bondage.
I can't. That's Jake's.
Shy Guys in Bondage?
Say it loud so everyone can hear you.
Do it. Shy Guys in Bondage.
Oh, still my favorite line. Yeah, fucking is one thing. I was gonna say, I'm trying to think. I don't remember that at the end of Scream, but
She goes upstairs and they sleep together, and then it's revealed like right after, and he's like, "I already did it," and yeah.
Usually,
I know for sure they fuck in that movie.
Usually, typically, being a virgin helps.
Yeah.
In another one, I think, I Know What You Did Last Summer, I think she slept with somebody.
Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Yeah. Was she boning Freddie Prinze Jr.?
I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen that.
Does that movie hold up?
Probably not.
I haven't seen it in
Was
forever.
that movie ever good? Or was I just young and...
I don't know.
I think
When
the
watched it,
first
I
one that was
entertained by
decent. It's decent enough.
It's not...
I mean, you have a young Sarah Michelle Gellar and a young Jennifer Love Hewitt running around. So.
Alright, wait.
It's not all bad.
By the way Drew says it, are we sure it's not like Hewitt or, Jennifer Love Hewitt?
I said Hewitt.
I know, I'm just saying, Neve and...
I said Neve, but...
Whatever. I don't care.
I'm gonna kill you in your sleep tonight.
You're starting to sound like me.
Except you say that to 10-year-olds.
I got a little Leslie Vernon in me.
I follow through.
Alright.
More tropes, atmosphere, building the atmosphere, like the cat and mouse, like teasing them kind of shit.
Yeah, like writing those notes. Like, wasn't that in Scream or something? Was it Scream or I Know What You Did Last Summer?
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, that he kept leaving notes.
And, like in Scream, he, like, calls him. Yeah.
Hello, Sydney. That wasn't the right voice. It turned a little Australian. Put another shrimp on the Barbie.
You were calling Sydney, so...
Yeah, Sydney, Australia.
Jesus Christ.
Ran over a dingo with my car.
What's your favorite scary movie?
It's turning into Bane. Everything turns into Bane. They say Australia is hell on earth. Because everything kills you. Okay. Wow.
Alright. I don't remember what the cliche you said was now. Atmosphere.
Yep.
Yeah. You have
Notes, phone calls.
a house, like either a haunted house or like a house where a grisly murder happened,
Right.
and you have to have those kids always like have to sneak into it.
Gore.
Mm-hmm.
Jump scares.
There has to be some urban legend. Like with Michael, it was like, oh, this is the house where that kid killed his family. Or with Freddy, it was that janitor who was burned alive.
You've usually got the grizzled expert that shows up and he's like, I know all about this, and fills them all in, and then they usually die.
Yeah.
Or like he's going to reveal a big secret and then he dies.
And then the twist where it's usually like the girl's friend or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're Scream 2, it's just fucking retarded, and it's Timothy Oliphant as mom for whatever reason.
As I say, which one is it that's the guy who was dating Jennifer Garner before she left him for Ben Affleck?
What?
Oh, there was...
The Scream movie?
Yeah, was it 3? Or it was like her half-brother or something?
Oh, I have
Like
no
a
idea.
long-lost relative that
Yeah.
she didn't even know she had.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, it's not really much of a surprise, I guess.
Did you ever see 4?
No. That was the newest one, wasn't it?
Oh my god. Yeah, that was not great.
Mm. I won't spoil... I know the ending to that one because I asked people if it was worth seeing and they said no, so I'm like, just tell me the ending then.
Okay, from
But-
what you heard, what did you think?
Oh, it sounded like crap.
It was crap.
But yeah, I'm not going to spoil the movie just in case, because that's kind of newer, so I don't want to ruin that. But in case anybody actually does want to see it. What else? Don't go away from the group. Everybody always tries to run off and do their own thing. If you are in a group, doesn't mean you're all going to live, but at least there's one, strength in numbers, and two, somebody to watch every corner.
Right.
But no, people decide, oh, I'm getting out of here, and then they run off on their own, and they're probably next to die.
Drugs.
Drugs, alcohol. Drugs and alcohol.
Drugs and alcohol.
Stoners usually are easier to kill. Usually.
Better to pad your numbers with.
Yes, as Leslie
That was a
liked to
great
say.
line.
Yes. They're the stoners. They're obviously going to be slower. Great to pad your numbers with.
In the late game.
Yeah.
And that led me to believe that he had done it before.
Mm-hmm. See, that type of line made me think so, too. And then, like, when they were first staking him out, and he noticed the other girl, he's like, that's an innocent girl, or whatever. Look at that connection we had. It's like, that would have probably been his next victim.
Why is it a virgin, you think?
Innocence.
Yeah, I was going to say they're innocents.
Do you think it's the Leslie Vernon thing where he's like, she's going to pick up my cock at the end of the movie?
No, I think more so, like, I even say, like, they say it in Cabin in the Woods, too, like she's the one who has to suffer. Like, she has to go through all this suffering to basically to mature as a person, to become whole, or she becomes better for the experience.
Which I don't get why. Which there was a great line in this film where they're like, 95% of whores know they're a whore.
I totally agree with that.
But, like, why can't a whore go through the same experience?
It's like Jessica Biel going, I was born in a Holiday Inn. She knows.
She just knows.
That look on her face when she was laying there, she knows what's up.
I think everyone knows a girl like that, where they, there's rumors they hear or stories, and most of them probably turn out to be true, and that person even will acknowledge that they are.
And I know Jessica Biel.
Really?
Yeah.
Personally?
Yeah.
Huh. What did JT think of that?
He doesn't mind. I watch her on the TV, like, all the time.
Sounds like a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Maybe a little one-sided, but
Don't interrupt my fantasies, Jake.
Get your realism out of here.
I'll have no part of it.
Tits?
Oh, nudity? Yeah.
If you're doing the movie right, then yeah.
Yeah, because there's obviously going to be sex. Because you have to show the virgin and her staying pure. You obviously have to show the other people having sex and that they're going to be murdered. I mean, Halloween, there's that couple that gets murdered.
Someone get your ghost, Bob? Wait, what couple are you talking about?
There's like that young teen couple, and like he goes downstairs.
Oh, you're talking the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, no, this is about halfway through the film. Because this is when Jamie Lee Curtis is older. He, like, the guy goes downstairs, gets murdered by Michael. He dresses up in the sheet. And
That's
she's
the end of the movie, dude.
See then? Yeah. But it's not Jamie Lee Curtis.
Sheet.
Yeah. It's not Jamie Lee Curtis.
No, that's the girl from Stripes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, yeah. There's obviously, the group that always wanders off to do the ditty. And
another thing, during the climax, usually all the bodies start they start showing up.
Yeah. In weird places, like,
They open a closet and something flops out and flops out.
And like you said, the guy who directed this movie has had to have seen like a bajillion horror movies because
he knows
this movie plays on every single thing that we just named.
I like when he's talking about the closet. He's like, well, it's like the womb. Mm-hmm. I don't fuck with that.
Like, there's the old trope when you were, why do I keep saying that word? Anyway, trope. Yeah.
It's fun.
Anyways, like when you're a kid, you think there's monsters under the bed or in your closet. You pull the blanket over your head. You're obviously protected. Even though literally they could just beat you within an inch of your wife while you're under the blanket.
They still do that. Like the blanket will stop me.
Oh my god.
My god.
Just keeps you from defending yourself. Just get that bat right in there. Crack. I'm cutting this.
No, you're not.
I might.
We'll see.
Were there any things that you guys didn't like about this movie?
I kind of hated that they did this whole, it's a mockumentary, so everything's kind of the shaky cam. Like, not all of it, but most of it is the shaky cam. And then the very end is not anymore. It's all, like, plays out like a film. Which I get why they did it, but I still kind of wish they would have kept some of the shaky cam.
But they weren't doing a documentary anymore.
Yeah, that's where the tone completely shifted because you were, like, you got everything you needed to see in the mockumentary. And now you're out of it.
Yeah, and like I said, I understand why they did it. I understand completely. It kind of stinks, that they weren't able to still kind of use it as a ploy. Like I would have understood if they had been cutting it more between the mockumentary and the real version or whatever. But it's like if one of the guys had just held onto one of the cameras, like even if it was Todd, just held onto the camera for a little bit, I think it would it would have added a bit more. But
I won't say it's necessarily stuff that I didn't like, but it's possible cons I can think of. Like I said before, some of the acting's a little iffy.
I agree with you.
Mostly supporting characters. I think the dude that played Leslie Vernon was pretty good. I don't know who the fuck he is, but I think
he hasn't really been in a whole lot. More recently he's been seen in a lot of Storage Wars, the television show.
Great, so he's playing a character on that?
I don't know if he's playing. I think he might be playing himself for all I fucking know. I honestly.
Which just go to show you that then Storage Wars, that type of reality show, is staged.
Well, we already knew that it was scripted.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyways, I thought that guy was fine. The only other major thing I would say is if you're not really a horror movie person, you're probably not gonna get a lot of what's going on. And be entertained by it. It's just one of those things, like, you kind of have to go into it having seen a couple, and if you're one of those people, like, I've met people that are just like, I don't watch horror movies, because they're either scared super easy, or they're just not interested, and if you don't know...
Because most horror movies, no offense, most horror movies aren't grade A cinema.
Well, horror movies now are
garbage.
really bad.
Yeah.
Unless it's the Babadook. Fuck you, Ty.
Nathan Basil, the guy who actually plays Leslie, he's not an actor on Star Wars. He's actually post production for a lot of TV shows and stuff now. So he really doesn't do a lot of acting now.
He's more behind the scenes.
Yeah, he's more. Yeah.
You know, I agree. I really did enjoy his performance. He added like the right enthusiasm, which is kind of scary that you get into the mind of a killer and you add enthusiasm. Like, I mean, if we were to follow Jake around on his hunts, then I wonder if he'd be the same way or if he'd be like the Eeyore type person that he is.
There's another one. Guess I'll grab the hammer.
Jesus.
You might want to cover your ears.
Grab the chloroform.
Can you help me put this couch in my trunk?
Buffalo Bill. Is she a big fat girl? Put the fucking lotion in the basket.
You could have been that guy in that movie. That voice sounds so good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Most of my impressions are pretty terrible.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a little horrifying.
Have you been working on it?
I've been honing it for years.
Waiting for somebody to compliment it?
Waiting for that one night at a gas station where I'm like, this is my moment.
You should leave some walkie-talkies on the porch during Halloween and be like, you want some candy?
And have a bottle of lotion just sitting right next to the candy.
Does what it's told.
You like candy, don't you? Just put your hand in the basket. Is this a Oh, don't tell no one.
Oh my god.
That got a little creepy.
A little.
Oh wow, I just remembered kids are the only thing to trick or treat. Oh. That might be getting cut.
Yeah, you might want to cut that.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut that. I was thinking of adults, but how many adults knock on your door and go, hey, can I get some candy? No, that legitimately made me sound like a
Yeah.
and I'm not a so I'm going to have to cut that. That's what happens when we take the joke too far. I don't think it through, and then I'm like, wait a minute, Halloween.
Hey, let's build on this.
Halloween is when kids trick or treat. Yeah, let's. Wow.
Where were we?
Oh, I don't know.
You said something else like Buffalo Bill.
I fucked up. That might be the worst. I fucked up.
Yeah, we need to cut that.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be great in the raw file, but yeah, we need to cut that.
Fuck. You were talking about stuff you didn't like?
Yeah, and we got into the post-production.
Oh, yeah.
And
said he
then-
was the post-production guy.
Oh yeah, I was just saying if you're not into horror movies, you're probably not going to find a lot here.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it'll go a bit over your head.
I can agree. Yeah, name the last good horror movie you saw.
Cabin in the Woods.
I was gonna say Cabin in the Woods, but besides that, which it itself is a horror movie,
Babadook.
but it kind of it plays outside the lines a little bit.
I'd put Sinister on there. I really enjoyed Sinister.
Say I enjoyed The Conjuring.
I'm just so sick of the carbon copy. We'll do Steadicam, or not Steadicam, but the Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
We'll rig the house with cameras, and then we'll have something happen every 25 minutes, and then at the end we'll have some bullshit climax. And for some reason, those movies kept making a fuck ton of money.
Well, at the same time, they were made for a lot less as well.
You are a prepubescent teenager with
I understand.
$10 in your pocket.
And you want to
It's
get
a
out
Saturday
of the house.
night. You want to get out of the house. and you got a girl with you. What are you gonna go see? You gonna go see a rom-com starring fucking Ricky Gervais and some other
Adam
bullshit
Sandler.
lady? Yeah, Adam Sandler.
I'd
and
rather get a
all.
hand job during that than fucking Paranormal Activity.
Well,
But
the girls get scared and the jump scares, and they're
They'll
like,
want to curl up next
then
to you.
they'll jerk even better.
You always take it to a place.
Why do you need to lock eyes?
I'm just waiting for you to finish your thought.
There are no thoughts in my head.
Obviously.
They just come and go. And I say heinous shit, and then
So
I have to
they
edit
come and
it
go.
out.
They're kind of like a comma chameleon.
Those movies make a shit ton of money because dumb teenagers like you and me back in the day would go in
I never
hopes
did that.
of get. Oh, I did so in hopes of holding hands or getting close.
Well, I hope you feel good about yourself.
Well, I contributed to the delinquency of terrible B horror movies. So I also worked at a movie theater when I was a teenager, so I got in for free.
As I say, I only saw 2 of them in theaters. I saw the first one in theaters, and then I was bored out of my mind. It was around Halloween, and I just wanted to see a horror movie, and the marked ones, Paranormal Activity, the marked ones happened to be in theaters. So I went and saw the first one because I was like, I gotta see what this is all about. And then the marked ones, there was nothing. There was nothing in theaters, so I was like, I guess I'll go see this.
And then before they did the slow atmosphere bullshit, which I wouldn't even call atmosphere Paranormal Activity, you had the torture porn.
Like your
Saw.
Hostel
Saw.
and Saw.
Hostel has the worst scene I've ever seen in a horror movie. Like,
The
my
Achilles
worst...
tendon.
Yeah, makes me cringe every time I think about it.
Wow,
Have
you
you seen
think
Pet
that was
Cemetery?
You thought that was worse than the eye getting plucked out of the socket?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
You've seen Pet Cemetery, right?
No, I haven't
Oh.
seen Pet Cemetery.
Well, if you have a thing for Achilles tendons,
I do not, actually.
you're in for a treat. My pick... No, I'm just kidding. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
That's a good movie.
I tried reading the book. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you try reading it?
Yeah, I did.
Doesn't know how to read.
They don't know that.
They do now.
The whole internet and all 12 viewers we have.
One of which we may have pissed off. Anyways. So you had the torture porn, you had the bullshit, whatever, and now they're calling it a return to horror.
Well, like
But the movie that came out to be the return to horror was It Follows, and don't even fucking get me started on It Follows.
I was gonna say, and now all they're doing is remaking all the classics. Like, you had Friday the 13th remade, which I heard was totally unnecessary. You had Nightmare on Elm Street remade, which I even forgot it had been remade. Evil Dead, which actually
I liked
I was going
Evil
to say,
Dead.
the remake I didn't mind.
Evil Dead was pretty good.
But, like,
Halloween.
Halloween with Rob Zombie's version, it was...
You know what bothers me about Evil Dead? I know we're way off topic here, but like we did it. It's just a good movie. Like,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Well,
And
it's
the
only an hour and a
entertainment.
half. Yeah, we'll get back to it.
But what I was going to say, what pissed me off about Evil Dead is you had a certain group of people that were like, well, it isn't Bruce Campbell, it isn't Evil Dead-y enough, so it shouldn't be Evil Dead. But I actually give it props for branching out just the slightest bit to not be a fucking remake,
Yeah,
like
or-
shot for shot.
Mhm.
But they're like, well, they just made Bruce Campbell a girl. Like, she's different. Her name
Yeah.
isn't Ash.
Yeah, it's different. It's totally different.
She's a heroin addict, and I thought she was fucking great.
Yeah.
Her acting,
Yeah.
totally creepy.
And all that fucking blood. Holy
I wonder
shit,
if it
the
took her
blood.
3 days to wash it off as well.
The actress.
Yeah, the actress.
Garbage truck. Damn dump.
Oh,
Too fun.
too fun.
A lot of callbacks.
This movie was too fun. That actually kind of works. Damn it.
Yeah, that was a statement.
It was.
It made sense.
Oh,
I don't know. I hate It Follows, is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, we know.
There's a reason. Go watch it, Ty. I'm not going to watch it.
I was so intrigued by the premise of It Follows. Like, so intrigued by it, and then to watch it, just, it was not executed well at all.
It pissed me off how pretentious it almost was. Like, hey, what if we did this, but we had this unique idea, which isn't all that unique, where the kids are just giving STDs to each other. The look on Ty's face.
If they do make a sequel, I will watch it.
I won't. You can watch it. I went to the theater, and I don't walk out of a lot of movies. I was fucking beside myself during that movie. Like, a half hour in, it dawns on me, this is not what I thought it was going to be.
You want to know a horror movie to me? Fucking Envy. I did walk out of that damn movie.
Yeah?
That movie sucked.
I hated Mars Attacks for a long time, but that's because it was winter, and it was at 20 grand, and the fucking pipes were frozen, and for whatever reason, the fucking fire alarm kept going off. So we'd have to walk out into the freezing cold and then go back in and try to get into Mars Attacks, which is all over the fucking place.
Yeah, you miss a good couple minutes.
And then every 10 minutes, go back outside, and eventually my mom was like, fuck it. We're not going back into this goddamn movie. Pierce Brosnan is a dog. I don't give a shit anymore. We're going home.
Michael J. Fox is dead.
That was pretty good.
I get voice work.
Yeah. No, Envy is a movie I've only walked out of, I think 2 movies in my life I've walked out of, and that was one. And I literally went across the freaking hallway to watch New York Minute and was more entertained.
What the hell's the matter with you?
That movie have you ever seen Envy?
Why would you walk into New York Minute?
Because I paid my money. It was the only other film in the damn theater that was playing at that time.
You realize that isn't how it works, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't just leave and go into something else. Like, fuck it.
Yeah. There was nobody else in the theater. I didn't care.
I have a bit of an embarrassing story. So Paul, you met Paul.
Yeah.
Paul calls me up one day and he's like, hey, we're going to go see this movie and we're going to see Taking a Pelham 123 after. And they just walked into it. I'd actually bought the ticket. So we get in there and I'm holding the ticket and Paul looks at me like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I bought the ticket. He's like, you actually bought a ticket for the movie that we just snuck into? I'm like, is that not... He's like, I don't know what to say right now. He's like, so you looked at the times and you did the math on when we would get out of this movie to get into Pelham 123 and you bought that ticket. I'm like, yeah.
What was the first movie?
Oh, man. I don't remember what it was. Maybe Sherlock Holmes? I don't know. Is that the right year? Does that match up?
I think Sherlock came out a couple years after, but...
Maybe I saw... Yeah, that was a different time. But... Whatever. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
But I don't steal.
You wouldn't download a car.
I would. Cars are fucking expensive, man.
You never seen those anti-piracy commercials?
Yeah.
And it's like you wouldn't download a...
Did you know the music in those ads was stolen
Stolen,
music?
yeah.
Irony. You wouldn't download a car like you downloaded this shitty song off of Napster. Fuck you, Metallica.
Lars Ulrich.
He didn't have enough money.
What about you, Drew? Ever sneak into a movie?
Well, I worked at a movie theater.
Yeah.
I was the one catching fuckers like you.
He put the fear of God in him.
I think the people who were working at the theater that day did not care. They're like, wow, these guys are stupid enough to actually buy a ticket to this piece of shit movie. Let them go wherever.
Some words of advice if you want to sneak into a movie. Don't do it on a weekend. Do it on a weekday where nobody's there.
Yeah, which is what we did.
Staff typically doesn't care on a weekday. But if you are a prepubescent teenager trying to sneak into a rated R movie, I will find you and I will catch you. No. I have.
You have a certain set of skills.
I do have a certain set of
Now
skills.
take candy from this basket.
I can't tell you how many kids I threw out of movies. But that being said, I've totally snuck into movies before, and I've done it just like Jake said, where you calculate the math, see the runtime, and then you're like, oh yeah, this is close.
All right.
Then you get to see John Travolta with a horrible goatee, trying to be tough. Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Oh gosh, I was thinking Assault on Precinct 13.
I was thinking Hairspray.
Wow. That's not at all anything that just happened.
I forgot about, because didn't he do like From to Paris with Love or something like that with that terrible
that
goatee?
bald
God.
cap and the
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
No.
Good.
Okay.
Good for you.
I don't support John Travolta much after Saturday Night Fever. Face Off.
Wow. So his whole career basically.
Face Off,
Pretty much is
dude. Face Off.
Pretty much
I
Face
want
Off.
to take his face
off. All right, let's get back to the movie we actually wanted to do. Behind the Mask. Entertainment scale. Oh, first, any trivia? Robert Englund shows up in this film,
Yep.
so Freddy Krueger shows up.
He plays the Dr. Loomis character.
And
What's his name?
the guy who plays Jason Voorhees.
Oh, Kane Hodder.
Yeah, Kane Hodder shows up twice in this film.
And they also do a lot of little reminiscent throwbacks to old school movies.
Yeah, they had the little cube thing from Hellraiser.
Yeah, you called that out right away. You're like, is that from Hellraiser?
I didn't
Sure
even see
enough, it was.
And you guys were like, where? I'm like, where his wrist is. It's it's right there on the nightstand.
Yeah, they were all they had shots of the original house from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm-hmm. They had a shot of a sign that said Crystal Lake on it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's all sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it like we said, it seemed to be someone who really loved horror movies, and whoever wrote this, and even the director, the way he did it. Stay tuned in the credits. There's a nice little scene in the credits, and the credits aren't that long. It's not like you have a Marvel movie credits where they're 15 minutes.
All played to the tune of Talking Heads' Psycho Killer, which is awesome. Zelda Rubinstein from Poltergeist is also in this movie.
Yep,
her last movie ever.
She makes an appearance, which you guys recognize. Was it Jake recognized the voice right away?
She has such an iconic voice.
This house is clear. That
was
was
an
terrible.
impression.
Just like that,
Yes.
but way higher.
Yeah.
Another impression, though. I like it.
2 in 1 podcast.
2 in 1
We are
pod.
blessed.
You've turned over a new leaf. An impression leaf.
And Orion Leaf.
What?
This isn't a football podcast. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh. No.
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 All right. So entertainment scale. Since it's Drew's movie, we'll start with him.
This is probably the 3rd or 4th time I've seen this movie. Every time I see it, I always forget, is it as good? Does it hold up? And every time I've seen it, yes, it does hold up. And it's so awesome to see a movie like this that shows so many throwbacks to all these different horror movies. It plays on itself very well. The acting's not great, but from the people who actually act in the film a lot, the girl and the guy who plays Leslie Vernon, they're pretty good. But from a small film that only made $68,000 at the box office, I have no idea what the budget was, but apparently it did get a release. It's a refreshing. God damn it! What do I want to say? It's refreshing and a breath of fresh air for the horror franchise as a whole.
It's a Mentos.
It really is.
You said this made 68 grand?
$68,000. Which I'm assuming it's probably a limited release.
Yeah.
It was probably a $20,000 budget.
The budget could not have been that great.
I bet most of it was spent on the freaking use of Psycho Killer or whatever.
Yeah. And that being said, I love the movie. The only thing I can really knock it for is the acting. I give it an 8.5. I love it.
Oh, you jumped to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything Drew said. It's a nice little. I don't want to call it a parody because it isn't really making fun of, but it's a good tongue-in-cheek kind of mockumentary type of film about horror movies. And other than Cabin in the Woods, can you even think of a movie like that?
Scream itself is kind of like that, because Jamie Kennedy does point out all that stuff.
It's pretty self-referential, but yeah, I guess Scream. But outside of Scream, can you think of any?
There's really not a lot.
No.
It's not really a genre that's been touched on that much.
Because I think kind of Scream hit it out of the park, and people are like, can we really touch this? Is it something you can do once somebody's done it so well?
Yeah. And it's too bad Wes Craven never really... Personally, I don't think he ever really topped the first Scream. I mean, he kept doing stuff, but... Anyways, we're doing ratings. I don't need to ramble off, but...
About Wes Craven?
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 7.5. I thought it was really enjoyable. I probably should have watched it sooner.
I'd say for being from 06, it's only 10 years old, but it holds up very well for, being 10 years old. It kind of harkens to that Paranormal shaky cam, but, well, Paranormal wasn't so much shaky cam, there's a little bit, but, that just, documentary, see how everything's going style. But, I don't know where I'm going with that.
I hate Paranormal Activity.
I know you hate it. We discussed this a few minutes ago, how much you hate it.
It's so scary about a woman staring at me in a bed for hours on end. That's a little creepy.
I was going to say, that wouldn't freak you out at all.
Yeah, but the dude getting thrown at the camera, I was like, fucking whatever.
Mm.
And the footsteps.
Getting pulled out of your bed.
That being said, can you appreciate it at least for what it was?
Yeah.
It was a low-budget horror movie with 3 actors that got picked up by Paramount and distributed nationwide because they saw the appeal.
I'll give them credit for touching on something that they could make money off of, but it also spawned nightmares.
Yeah.
And I don't think horror movies are bad. I like having horror movies. It's just there's so many shitty ones that the genre's basically died.
Yeah. Well, and you also could blame Halloween and Friday the 13th and freaking Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, they created the giant horror icons, and then they kept churning out sequels. Even before sequels were much of a thing back in the 80s and 70s. They were just one after the other, and they got crappier as they went.
But there was demand.
Yeah.
I think the problem with that, though, is that these films have become so formulaic.
Yeah.
That when you finally have A Cabin in the Woods or something like this, that's even low budget, but it's better than a lot of the freaking remakes that they've done lately.
It's just something different.
Yeah.
We're at an interesting time now, though, because now when a movie comes out that almost hits on those tropes the right way, it's celebrated. Whereas before they would have been like, well, this is just copying this. Now it's like, wow, you took a horror movie and you understood what a horror movie should be, and those will end up being successful. Or you'll do a thriller. Like, Babadook I almost wouldn't even call a horror movie. It's more slow burn, psychological thriller.
Mm-hmm.
But it does it so well that... I don't know where I'm going with it. It's good. But we're at a weird time now where it's like, if we can even replicate it in a good way, it's kind of accepted. But as for new shit, I don't know.
Yeah. Like, The Woman in Black. The first time I saw it, I really enjoyed that film. It scared the hell out of me. Second one was terrible, though. The sequel was horrible.
That's what sucks, too, is sometimes when they actually do something that catches a little bit, they're quick to rush out a sequel. Mm-hmm. And they just fucking falls on its face.
And the worst is when they change the rules. Like, I like a horror movie that sets up rules.
Oh,
but...
And then rules?
They follow them.
You would love It Follows. There's no rules in that movie whatsoever.
No, I probably would hate it then.
I can't open a door, but I can hurl a fucking television into a swimming pool for no reason. Fuck that movie.
But the second one completely doesn't acknowledge any of the rules from the first one, and it pisses me off. But I'll go on to my rating. Again, acting, some of it's a little stilted. I enjoyed when they finally flipped. As much as I said I wish there was more of the documentary cam, I enjoyed when they finally flipped it around and you saw the other two camera guys. That, you finally got to see their face, kind of understand who they are. And, like I said, Fat Sean Astin. Sean
Astin.
But it's very enjoyable. It was very fun. We've said this 1,000 times, but Cabin in the Woods, if you haven't seen Cabin in the Woods, go see Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
Rent it, find it on Amazon, buy it. I loved it.
It's great.
I think even Chris Hemsworth filmed it before he started doing Thor, and it was because of Thor that they then released this film, because they're like, oh, hey, we can play off this, because they didn't think the film was going to be good enough, but then
they shelved it.
Yeah, think it was going to be bad. But, yeah. Just like how Envy was never going to be released until Jack Black hit Big with School of Rock. Then they tried capitalizing on a cash cow. But, anyways, I digress. I'll give it a 7.3. It's very enjoyable, low budget, but if you haven't seen any horror movies or don't like them, you won't get some of the inside jokes. But it's very enjoyable.
I have shown it to people that don't necessarily like the horror genre. I showed it to Nate. Nate fucking hates horror movies, and he ended up liking that one.
Really?
He loves Cabin in the Woods too.
Huh.
See, I have a friend who also is a horror fan. He bought Cabin in the Woods, but he didn't really care for it.
I don't get how you can like horror movies and not like that one.
Yeah. Maybe it was just it wasn't what he expected. Like, you go into this thinking it's one thing, and then to find out it's this completely other thing.
That movie in the theater was one of the most pleasant surprises that I can remember.
Yeah, it was great.
Because I just remember seeing reviews that were really high for a horror film, and usually that makes me...
Very iffy.
I'm pretty fucking paranoid. It Follows is another example. That movie had like a 93 on Metacritic. And I went and saw it, and I wouldn't wipe my ass with it. It's fucking garbage. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Hateful.
8. But,
Wow.
yeah. Dropping that. So, yeah, that's... that's Behind the Mask. The story of...
The rise of
Leslie Vernon.
Can't even get the title right.
Sorry, it wasn't my pick.
Call yourself a podcaster.
Actually, I don't, usually.
Oh.
I don't go on the street and be like, here's my business card, Ty, podcaster. I almost said my last name.
Last name is Rel.
Yes.
So what do we got coming up?
So, next week is my pick. And I kind of had an idea. I wanted a movie starring an aging semi-action hero, kind of balding, and takes place in like a metropolitan area.
All right.
And yes, Jake?
Go ahead. Spit it out.
And it's going to be Ghost Rider. With X-Men coming out, I thought we haven't done a superhero movie yet. So let's do balding Nick Cage and Ghost Rider.
That was unexpected. That was very unexpected.
The joke I'd been making with these two all like the past week was I was going to pick Suburban Commando or
Glitter.
Or Glitter, the Mariah Carey movie.
And I was thinking of places to put your corpse.
Which, one of those two might pop up later, but actually I had been thinking the whole time with an X-Men movie coming up. We hadn't done a superhero movie. We actually enjoy superhero movies. So I was like, it's about time. Let's do a bad superhero movie. I couldn't find Howard the Duck, but I'm like... For some reason, I own Ghost Rider. Actually, I know the reason. I enjoy the character, but I shouldn't have bought the movie. Second one's even worse. Which I thought about showing you guys, but I didn't want to confuse you.
Did you know the second one was directed by the guys that did Crank?
Yeah, I know.
I never saw Spirit of Vengeance.
You never saw Spirit of Vengeance? Oh, it is so crappy. Christopher Lambert appears in it.
What?
Yeah.
Is he a Highlander?
No.
Is he Raiden?
I don't think so.
I can't think of another character he ever played.
Is Eva Mendes in the second
No,
one?
she chose not to.
Then it sucks.
Idris Elba, though, appears in Ghost Rider 2.
What?
Yes. He is actually the best part of the film in Ghost Rider 2.
The dude who might be the next Bond?
Yes.
Idris Elba?
The funny thing about the second one is he talked about how they were filming in, like, Romania or something, and freaking Nicolas Cage had bought a castle not too far away from the filming location, so he stayed there.
Yeah, that motherfucker's terrible with money.
Yes, he
like
is.
me and my racing wheels.
Well, to be fair, he saved the Declaration of Independence.
That was a character, Drew. I hate to break it to you.
What? It wasn't real life?
Oh.
Nah.
Well, maybe I'll change it to the second one then, but I don't... Maybe I'll let Jake borrow...
Have you seen the original Ghost Rider?
No, he hasn't. So maybe I'll let you borrow the DVD. You can watch Ghost Rider, and then we'll watch Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. Since Drew
So you're going to punish me twice.
Yes.
Because fuck me, right?
Because I know Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance is on Amazon, so if any of you guys want to watch it, you have Amazon Prime, or somehow own this piece of shit movie.
This doesn't sound good at all.
You can...
How about we watch a shitty movie, but you watch another shitty movie before we watch
How am
it?
I benefiting from this? I can't fap to this.
It's all for the pod. If you're going to make us go to a theater, you can sit down and watch
Hey, I don't even know if that's going to happen.
If ever. I'm just saying.
Well, now if I play the theater card, you have to go.
I will. I never said I wouldn't, so.
Alright.
But it's just an hour and 45. Wes Bentley's in the original.
I don't give a fuck.
He only did because he needed drugs.
He needed drugs? Is
was-
that what he told the media?
In a later interview, because that was during his 10-year heroin addiction phase.
I thought you were joking. He actually came out and said, I did that movie to buy drugs?
Yeah. Because after American, there was one film, he only did 2 films in that 10-year phase of him being addicted, and Ghost Rider was one of them.
That dude was addicted to heroin?
Yeah.
What guy?
Wes Bentley.
The bad kid from American Beauty was addicted to heroin for 10
Really?
years.
Yeah. He appeared in 2 films. I don't remember the first one, but Ghost Rider was the second one. Yeah.
Holy shit. I hope all that's true, or you just slandered some dude
No,
for no reason.
It's true. He was a heroin addict. So.
Wow. Runs in the family.
What's that mean?
That runs in my family.
Oh, I think you meant Bentley's family. I was like, how do you know that?
Well, I
He's
don't know.
related.
Oh, okay. But yeah, we'll see. It's either Ghost Rider or Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. Either one is awful. Both starring Nick Cage, who we've talked about and we love, and we'll love for his reactions.
Do we, though? Do we?
Face.
Dude, face off.
Actually, Face Off. Yeah.
Dude,
you're right.
Con Air.
Con
Con
Air.
Air.
I was just going to say,
National Treasure.
National Treasure.
Gone in 60 Seconds.
put the bunny back
In the box. Lord of War. I could go on.
I'm going to show you God does exist.
It Could Happen to You. That was one of his romantic comedies, but it was a good film.
You and your fucking romantic comedy.
I enjoyed that one. I'm sorry.
Guys, I walked out of Terminator 2 to go see New York Minute.
No, I walked out. Envy.
I understand. I'd rather watch Envy.
I was a senior in high school. Actually, I think I had just graduated. So, I had my last day. So we were like, oh, we're bored. Let's go up to Lincoln and watch a movie. And we're like, I want to kill myself.
And then you all went into New York Minute?
No, I went to New York Mint. They stayed in there. I was like, I can't take this damn film anymore. I need to leave. Or I will kill somebody in this theater.
You couldn't have picked anything other than New York Minute, though?
That was the only other thing in the theater playing. Because it was an early afternoon show.
I think I would have rather walked into a fucking bear trap, maybe?
Dumpster fire.
A dumpster fire?
Do you even know who's in New York Minute?
Is it Lindsay Lohan?
No.
Or is it the Olsen twins?
It's the Olsen twins and Eugene
Oh,
Levy.
God.
It was their first...
You know your movie's good when Eugene Levy's in it.
He's in fucking everything. He's like Kevin Bacon.
How many years has his heroin addiction been going on?
It's the American Pie days.
That was their first film, the Olsen twins' first film, since they had been doing all the kiddie ones.
When did American Pie come out?
Like
99?
99?
Yeah, 99.
I remember being 11 years old and walking into the living room and seeing Jason Biggs fucking an apple pie and being more confused than
I thought you were
ever
going to
been.
say, my life is now complete.
No, I didn't understand anything that was happening. And my parents didn't either, because they just looked horrified. And I'm like, what are you watching?
And Jake's like, do I have to do that?
I thought I was the only one. Nobody fucks an apple pie. If there's any female listeners, I want to do a public service announcement. No dude has ever fucked an apple pie.
Well, you know why he did it.
Because it's warm.
Yeah, like Chris Klein said, he's like warm apple pie. And so that's why he says it way early in the film. Yeah.
That dude went to my high school.
Wow.
Nobody fucks apple pies.
It would burn.
Nobody does it.
Now, cherry pies, yeah.
It made me feel weird because they made it seem so normal. Like, oh, he's fucking an apple pie. And his dad's like, oh, you know.
We'll tell Mom the dog got into it or something.
Yeah. And I'm just like, no. That is not fucking right. I don't know.
There are starving children in Africa that could have ate that fornicated pie.
So if he fucked a cherry pie, would they say he popped the cherry?
The world may never know.
Mm. On that note,
It's one of the great philosophical questions of our time.
I don't think we're going to try and answer it. So, all right, that'll be this week. So stay tuned for either Ghost Rider or Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance.
I'm so mad you pulled the rug out. Hey, Jake, you're watching 2 movies because fuck you.
All right, that'll do it for this week. I'm Ty.
Jake.
I'm Drew.
See you next week.